finally got the replacement engine in the cradle. I was going to video it, but you guys didn't miss much. It was not fun trying to fit that engine in that cradle. They really do not leave a lot of room. And me and my neighbor probably tried like 20 times before we got it in there right. It was a pain. Essentially, what we had to do was we had to get the back in first and raise it way up in order to tilt it in, because the issue is over here on this side. You've got this big cover right here. This cover will continue to smack this bar. You can't get it to clear. So you really got to get it in there, get it up high, and then swing this end over to get it to sit in there. And it is a bear. It was probably the hardest part of this so far. At this point, I'm just going ahead and rerouting all my cables and wires and things. I gotta refer to the manual because I don't remember how some of these were routed. And then I actually just made a mistake. I didn't put the exhaust on. So I didn't put this piece on, and it looks like this bar right here, this mount, has to be removed in order to get that pipe in there. So I got to take that back off. I guess we learn as we go ahead and do it. I did replace the shutoff valve here. I suspect that that's what took out the original engine in this, because when I first bought this secondhand, when I drained the oil, there was more gas than oil in the bottom end of this, and it had no compression. So I'm guessing that shutoff valve, the original one, is what took out the engine. I think it was probably just back siphoning into the case, and the previous owner didn't realize it, and they just kept running it. I think that's one of the issues with these. They don't have a dipstick. So it's not like you can pull the dipstick and actually sniff the oil to see if there's gas in there. So just something to keep in mind if you have one of these. But hopefully I'll have this thing together pretty soon here. Should be the home run. And the original engine over here, I'm going to show you real quick. This thing only had 1,700 miles on it, according to the odometer. But as you can see, this thing is dirty. It looks like whoever previously had it, I'm seeing a lot of silicone up here on the head, where maybe they had a leak or they had to take it apart and didn't have the right gasket. I don't know. But there was so much sludge and oil on that frame and chassis. This thing must have had a massive oil leak at one point. One benefit to that is the chassis had hardly any rust on it. It was in a remarkably good shape for a 1993 King Quad. And I live on the East Coast. Everything here rusts if it gets into salt. So in the area that I live in, this thing's kind of a gem in terms of the shape that the metal and stuff was in. It was in great shape. But unfortunately, being a low mileage rig, had a bad engine. I'm guessing the previous owner did not take very good care of it. So maintenance is key. They probably tried to cut some corners, unfortunately, and this ended up being a much larger project than it had to be. So just for those of you out there, if you're going to pull the engine out, it's very possible. Just take your time and do it. But I am going to warn you, it's a little bit of a challenge to get this engine in and out of that cradle. It's a tight fit, and it's like a game of Tetris. You really got to kind of fit it in there just right for this thing to clear and drop in. So my next video, hopefully we'll be able to see this thing run. Thank you for watching.